So I decided I'm going to talk about some of my favourite TV of all time. Now, this isn't just TV that I actually watched as it was broadcast, it's also TV shows from other countries which I could only get hold of on DVD and things like that, but I'm counting them as TV because they were broadcast as TV shows. One of my favourites when I was a kid growing up was Due South. It's all about a Mountie who comes from Canada to Chicago on the trail of his father's murder, and he ends up working at the Canadian consulate there and helping out a detective who's been assigned to the case of investigating his father's murder, and he gets involved in lots and lots and lots of other cases as well. The theme tune is stuck in my head ever since I was a kid. I had to buy it on DVD. I absolutely love Due South. It's brilliant. It's still something I can watch again and again. Yeah, in places it looks like it's a 90s TV show, because it was a 90s TV show. But I will always love Due South. It will always have a very, very large part in my heart. But there you go. Growing up, I think in my early teens as well, if you didn't watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, who the hell were you? It was brilliant. It's as appealing now as it ever was before. Buffy kicked ass. She was a strong woman who could do pretty much anything. Didn't really need anyone's help. But at the same time, she had a vulnerability, and she was at that sort of difficult stage in life where you're growing up and moving from teenage years to adulthood and stuff like that. And I think a lot of teenagers could relate to that. And what teenager doesn't like a good vampire story and things like that? It was all about trying to find yourself and all sorts of things that we could all relate to. So of course we were going to love Buffy. West Wing was something I used to watch with my mum. I actually really love West Wing. It's political drama set in a perfect idea of America. Very, very different from the kind of president that America has now. President Bartlett was good. He was really good. In fact, he was so good that some countries thought he was president and actually introduced various actors from the show as their characters whenever they went visiting other countries. It was very funny. But it was brilliant, and it was so cleverly written. It was just great. It's the same people who ended up behind films like Social Network and stuff like that. The West Wing was just wonderful, and my mum still got the box set. Now I want to nick the box set off her and watch it all again. Breaking Bad, I mean, you know, this is what happens when you have a country that doesn't have affordable healthcare, or free healthcare. Even better, free healthcare. You end up making meth in order to pay for your cancer treatment. It's brilliant. It was compelling, and the characters, you weren't sure if you loved them or hated them, or if you agreed with what they were doing or anything. Although if you didn't like Hank, you were watching the wrong show. Quite frankly, Hank is just, it's so good. I love Hank. But it was right up to the end. There was a moment as well in every series when you went, no, why did that just happen? Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely love that show. Again, it's another one of those things I want to watch again, and I think my husband was saying the other day we should totally watch that again, and I agree with him, we should. Speaking of Japanese stuff, Bloody Monday, I absolutely love it. It was a live adaptation from a manga, not that I've actually read the manga yet. It's on my to-do list. Because, you know, my favourite actor, Kuro Sato's in it, so of course I was going to watch Bloody Monday. First series he's not in it an awful lot, but his career was pretty much the start now. He's more in the second series because his career was more well established by 2010 when the second series came out. And it's basically a group of teenagers, one of them's a hacker, and they basically bring down a load of terrorists who are going to try and kill loads of people in Japan. Brilliant. It reminds me, the first series in particular reminds me a bit like 24. There's a deadline. It's not like 24 hours, it's more like a week, but because there's this deadline that they're working towards, you get this small sense of of tension and stuff like that. It's absolutely brilliant. Other things that I like, I just love Japanese dramas. Last Cinderella is brilliant. I thought I was only going to watch it for Haruka Miura, but then everybody in it turned out to be brilliant actors, and the storyline is, I love it. A 40-year-old woman who's basically got someone half her age chasing after her, and someone who's her own age, and he can't really admit that he's in love with her, and who's she going to pick? And I thought I wouldn't like anything like that. It's basically like sorry, I'm losing the plot with my camera. But I didn't think I'd like anything like that kind of drama, sort of soppy romantic type thing, I thought. But actually it's so funny, and lead actress is incredibly talented, and Haruka Miura just totally different to anything else I've ever seen him in. And I thought, actually, this boy's got a bit of talent. It's not bad. He's a bit more versatile than I thought he was. I still feel so sorry for him being Eren Yeager in Attack on Titan. Because he's better than that, basically. But anyway, never mind. So there's all sorts of things like that. I'm watching Bitter Blood at the moment. That's fast turning into one of my favourite things. I think it's called different things, though, and I've seen it called different things, but the version I know it as is Bitter Blood. Father and son end up being paired together as partners as detectives, this police agency. And again, Takiro Sato, but it all goes either horribly wrong or horribly right. There is no in between. It's very, very funny. The drama elements of it are incredibly dramatic, and there's some really dark things that happen in there. But when it's funny, it's painfully funny. And the weird thing is that series came out at the same time as the final 2 installments of the Kenshin films, and they couldn't be more different. It shows how good Takiro Sato is as an actor. It really does. So I'm about halfway through that series at the moment, and it's really, really good. I'm really enjoying that. I guess for now that's it. I mean, my guilty pleasure, if you can get hold of it to watch it, Princess D. I wouldn't force yourself to watch it though. I'm not telling you have to watch it, but I do love Princess D a little bit too much. It's actually the first thing Takiro Sato was ever in. It's based on a manga and an anime. Not that the manga or anime make any more sense, but 3 boys attend an all-boys school. There are no girls. They are forced to dress up as girls in order to act a bit like cheerleaders for the various clubs and stuff like that are there. In the TV adaptation, they get rivals. The brilliant thing is that one of the rival princesses is one of the actors. He ended up in Kamen Rider Den-O, which I fucking love that as well. Again, that was Takiro Sato. That was like one of his first big lead TV roles. For anyone who's not big on the Kamen Rider series, think Power Rangers, but a bit more mental. Look it up. Just look it up. Look up Kamen Rider Den-O in particular. It's absolutely brilliant. So a lot of kind of guilty pleasures when it comes to the Japanese TV stuff, but it's good. I like it. It's fun. But I'm going to go because I've just recorded loads of videos back to back. My hand's about to fall off. If this is shaking, it's because my hand is now involuntarily twitching. So I'm going to go, and I'll see you soon. Sayonara.